Take you running off the road, so get out the way. Push the pedal to the floor, blow them all away. Yeah, you see I'm getting close, I accelerate. Going faster than fast, hit the gas, lose control. I won't crash, running high. Put your money on the dash, throw the dice, lose control. I won't crash, running low. I won't crash, bring you slow. I won't crash, running. Take you running on the road, so get out the way. Push the pedal to the floor, blow them all away. Yeah, you see I'm getting close, I accelerate. Going faster than fast, hit the gas.
What is going on, chat? Happy Tuesday. It is September the 10th. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us right here on the Betting News Network. This is the W. We're going to talk all about the WNBA on this beautiful Tuesday. That is Mr. NZ. My name's Sweatpants Jesus. So stoked to have you guys here. Wish we were together, buddy, but we got a good weekend of it. Back to on the screens, but better than nothing. Appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with us today right here on the channel. We go live every single day. If you never tapped in with us, drop a follow. If you're watching the recording of this after the show, thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Not much longer in the WNBA season, brother. We got this show rocking and rolling for this entire year. It's been an awesome show, but we're getting close to the playoffs. Playoffs is going to be fun, but
1 week away.
1 week away, baby.
1 week from today. Chewy. What's up, Lando?
Indeed. Appreciate you guys for hanging out in the chat. Thanks for being here. This is brought to you by our sponsors at BetOnline. You guys know the deal. Go get involved with BetOnline with that QR code right above Mr. NZ's head for a $1,000 deposit bonus and $10 dropped into your account for free. All you got to do is just scan that QR code and drop a deposit right at BetOnline. So, my man, real quick before we dive into today, how you doing?
All right. Doing all right. Just had one of the best weekends in a very long time, so kind of recovering. But, man, what a hell of a weekend. It really was.
We had a spectacular time. We've said it many times, but we'll keep saying it just because it was filled our heart with joy to be able to hang out with all of you guys. It kind of just showed. I mean, NZ and I are the original channel members of this of Betting News. So to see what we started over a year and a half ago turn into, a weekend of frivolity and bets and all the stuff. It was amazing. So yeah, appreciate it. Do it again this weekend, shall we? I need like a couple weeks of recovery time. So
I was going to say my liver's hurting, but we'll tell you this, Lando, it will happen again. So start saving money.
We will have another one. We haven't decided the location yet, but it went so well having all you guys come and meet up with us in Chicago and all of us getting together, obviously. So we'll have another one very soon. But there are some bets tonight that we are going to rock and roll with, and we're going to talk all about the WNBA as always on the show. Like I said, getting close to the playoffs. We both have bets for you guys tonight. So we're going to do. I don't know how we're going to do this. We talked about this. I don't know how we're going to do the parlay today. The only two of us, obviously Colby's probably not going to be on the show until the rest for the end of the season, just because he's kind of turned his focus towards college football and college. Yeah, well, it's just the two of us. Sook will be here every once in a while, but it'll be mostly NZ and I for the rest of the season. We do have a special guest possibly next week. He was supposed to join us today, but it ended up not working out. So we'll have a special guest coming and hang out with us and getting rocking and rolling. But today, let's go ahead and look at the standings. Because it is an interesting WNBA slate. 3 games, so not massive, but the games that are there are very, very interesting. So let's just look at the standings first before we dive into the games here. This is what the Liberty, obviously at the top, clinched the division. We've also got the Lynx, who we'll talk about in a minute. We're playing tonight, right underneath them. The Sun, Vegas, the Storm, the Fever, and the Mercury all have clinched their position in the playoffs. There could be a couple moves, maybe in some seeding, depending on what happens in the last part of the season with wins, losses, whatever it may be. But overall, these 7 teams are in. However, this is when it gets interesting, dude.
Yeah.
The Sky, the Dream, and the Mystics, all within 2 games of each other, all fighting for that last spot. The Wings and the Sparks are done. Both of them are playing tonight, which we'll talk about in a minute. Mm-hmm. They're playing for a paycheck or to go into next season with some momentum and get the vibes moving. But overall, the Sky, the Dream, and the Mystics. They're the ones that we're going to be kind of focusing on over this last 10 days of the regular season. Which, I mean, let's just go ahead and dive into the game because the Dream play tonight. They play the Lynx. And I've been wanting to talk to you about this game all day, but I saved it for the show because I can't wait to discuss with you about this game. As you guys can see with the live lines at BetOnline right now, 5.5 is the line for the Lynx. 5.5 is the plus 5.5 for the Dream at home. Over under is 156.5 on this line right now. As I mentioned, as you guys just saw, the Dream need to win. Plain and simple. The Lynx also could use a dub as well, maybe to climb over or to stay above the Sun in that number 2 seed, to kind of avoid that middle of the pack between, I don't think anybody wants to play the Fever right now. So, staying away from that Fever team could be an option. So the Lynx can't just take this one off. And the Dream, as I just said, they're a game back from the Sky. So what do you think about this game? I want to know if you've seen it the same way before I say what I think about this game.
All right. Well, the Dream have to have a little bit more hunger to them now, knowing that they could get that spot with Angel Reese now being out for the rest of the year. I really think that the Sky are going to slip out of that spot. She was a big portion of that team. She wasn't a big scoring part of that team, but she was a big part of that team all around. I like the Dream, but it's tough to say they win this game. I wanted to check one thing. It took my phone forever to load. Here we go. 7-10 at home this year. The Lynx are 11-6 on the road. I hate to say it, but the Lynx are probably going to win this game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But do you think they cover? Because I think now this line's moved a couple of times. I was pretty confident because it was 4.5 or it was 5.5 last night. Then it dropped down to 4, like about 4 or 5 hours ago, and now it's back up to 5.5. I still kind of like the 5.5 with the Dream, just because again, they need to win. So
the last time they played, they lost by only 7. So the line isn't as close. And again, they really got to come out hungry. They got no choice, and they got to shoot better. If they shoot better, they stand a chance in this game. It's going to sound kind of weird, and I might be off on this one, but I think it's the over. I think we see a lot of points tonight in this game. If the Dream shoot well, the Lynx will match that, and we may see a high-scoring game. I mean, 56 is like, was that like 75? Give it or take 77 each a team, 78. I could see this one getting a little high.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. I mean, it's a lower total because the Lynx are one of the best defensive teams in the league, but the Dream can run, especially at home. And, they need to win.
They broke the total last game they played, too. Yeah. I mean, listen, the Dream, they got to win every game they can. Mm-hmm. We've seen some of these. Let me see one thing. I don't know. Lynx are on a 3-game win streak. It could be a letdown spot for them. They're where they are. They are pretty much cemented in the second spot, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like 3, 4, and 5 could change a little bit. This could be a spot for the Dream. I can't officially put a play on that because it just seems like absolutely bonkers. But if I was going to take something, I think I would take the over.
I was leaning very heavily with taking the 5.5 earlier today with the Dream laying the points. I think they cover. Whether they went outright, like you mentioned, I don't know. But the Lynx are very good. And if they come out and play basketball, because, again, they want to kind of stay in that 2 spot. I don't think they want to dip down beneath the Sun again. So I think they want to stay there. And so they're also wanting to maintain some momentum going into the playoffs. I mean, we've got about, 6 or 7 games left for, give or take the team. You don't want to kind of fall off, lull, kind of idle, and then get popped in the first round and get kicked out, So I can see them. Yeah, I don't either. So
let's take a look at one thing here while we're talking about them anyways, right? Let's take a look at the rest of the schedule. So the Dream after this game, oh, wow. They got the Mystic twice, then the Sky, and then the Liberty. So even if they go 3 of 2, I think that puts them in because I don't know how well. Let me just see the Sky's last few games here. Just to
you saying the Dream? That's the Dream schedule.
That's the Dreams.
Interesting.
And then the Sky, they've got the Mystics, the Lynx, Mercury, Dream, and then the Sun. So they got a little bit of a tougher ending of their schedule versus Atlanta. Again, I don't know if they win this one. They got to take those next two games back to back. They have to take those games back to back against Washington, and that will put them in the playoffs, I think. If they win those two games and then beat the Sky, they're in. I think they'll be in.
Yeah,
so
if they bury the Mystics.
The Liberty.
Well, maybe the Liberty sit everybody that game because they're already confirmed as the number 1 seed. So they don't need to play necessarily because the last game of the season.
I feel like I haven't seen that. Like with women's basketball, I feel like they continue to play. We'll see, but I could be wrong, but we'll see.
I think, like you said, that's a great point. That those two games against the Mystics, because I'll just bring it up again, as you guys can see, like those two games against the Mystics would bury them, and the Dream would then, I would be the Dream or the Sky, and if the Dream beat the Sky, then that's probably the Sky, or that's probably the Dream in. So, no UFC today, brother. Sorry, we will have some UFC. You can go to bettingnews.com, though, and read all about some free scribbles from our awesome UFC writer. We'll also have a UFC show on Saturday, breaking down everything from UFC 306. So be sure to tap in with us on the Violence Report. No UFC today, though. I know there is the Contender Series, but we are not going to be talking about that right here. So
there's a big one. There's a big one this weekend, right?
Oh yeah, in the Sphere. O'Malley, baby. Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
That's right.
Yep, Trizzy will be with me. We're breaking it down on the weekend. So,
sweet.
But back to this game. I do have a play in this game. I like the Dream. I think I might end up taking it, but maybe just kind of in my own little corner. But I really like this play. I texted you this earlier today. It's on the Lynx side of things. I really like Alana Smith. I like her over 5.5 rebounds. Shout out to our friend Ghost, who came into Spaces earlier today and kind of talked about this play a little bit. I looked into it a little bit further, and I am laddering this in every which way possible. Kind of like what we just talked about. I think this game stays competitive. I don't think that she's been playing substantial minutes for the Lynx, but this is about her success against the Lynx. She just had 8 rebounds last game against the Mystics, which is obviously well over the 5.5. But against the Lynx, against the Dream this season, she had 10 rebounds in her last game. She had a double-double. I'll get to that in a second. She had 9 rebounds the game before that. She had 4 in the beginning of May. And then the last game last season, she had 12. The 3 games prior to that last season, she also had 6. So she's hit this line in 6 of her last 7 games against this team. The Dream, 4th worst in the WNBA to rebounds allowed to overall to all the positions. I took the 5.5 for plus money. I laddered it to 8, which is plus, let me just get the line that I got, plus 360. And I took the double-double. The double-double was plus 1,900 earlier today. She actually does score pretty well against this team, too. 13 points, 17 points, and 4 points in her last 3 games this season against the Dream. Again, the Lynx still need to win, so they're going to play their people. She's been playing substantial minutes. Last game against the Dream, which was in July the 17th, she played 33 minutes in that game. I love this play. Like I said, shout out Ghost. He brought it to my attention earlier today in the Spaces, locked it in, the double-double, and then I dove in a bit deeper and decided to invest fully on the 5.5 for plus money. So I really like this play a lot. I think it should be a pretty competitive game, and I think that Alana Smith should have plenty of chances to grab some rebounds. So you got it, Landon. I mean, I have a unit on it responsibly, but I did text NZ to place the double-double with me for plus 1,900. So if you want to ride with us, what you did. Well, I mean, dude, she had a double-double last game, which was the 17th of July. She had 13 points and let me just bring up her rebounds again. She had 13 points and 10 rebounds in that game. She had 9 the game before that. She only scored 4, so a little bit kind of a meh scoring night. But 4 rebounds the game before that. But in that game, she scored like crazy. She had 17 points in that one. So kind of ties in also with your over. A little bit, up and down the court. She's going to play 30 minutes. She's, definitely a part of this rotation. So I like to play a lot. Also, Lean Dream. Those are my 2 kind of big looks in this game that I like a lot. Did you have any other plays that you wanted to rock and roll with in this one?
Yeah. I mean, I can give probably 2 different plays. First one's going to be Bridget Carlton, 4+ rebounds. She's on the Minnesota Lynx. Line's 3.5, minus 128. I mean, she's hit her line in her last 6 games straight, 8 out of 10. And then kind of going back to what you were saying about Smith, she's played great against the Dream this year in 3 games. She's had 4, 8, and 5. She had 5 in her last game against them in the season prior. She's getting about 30 minutes a game as well. She's starting. So I really like this look for the value that's there. Pay the juice, man. It's not that big a deal. I mean, you could use that as a parlay piece if you really want it, but pay the juice, man, for this one. And then she's a 3-point shooter. She's been a little off. She's been kind of every other game right now. She's just coming off an off game. She's had 2-4, 1-4, 2-4. So she's coming off that off game with the past 2 games versus Atlanta. She's had 3 and 4 in those 2 games. So I like that as well. And you get some nice plus money. I believe it was 123. Let me just double check. It was 124. So plus 124 for 3+3s from a person who shoots. Let me just pull up the last. Let's go last 10 for the hell of it, right? She's attempting about 6 a game. She's had 7, 9, 5, and 10 in her last 4 games. So the volume is definitely there. Definitely there. So I like her a lot. I think she has a good game. I know we're both talking about Lynx players, but kind of lean the Dream. But that's a different conversation. I sound like Kobe there. Ugh.
Yeah, we hung out too much this weekend. Well, no, I think that helps the cause of this game staying competitive because, if you didn't like Lynx players, if you're playing a bunch of unders, you'd think it'd be a big old blowout, But I think the Lynx are going to play. I think they're going to play well. And I think the Dream are too. So,
this one should be probably the best game of the night, honestly.
Absolutely. Watch it be a fucking snooze fest, and the other 2 are just games of the night. Hello, D. What's up, buddy?
Ryan Howard.
Oh shit.
Ryan Howard.
For this game?
Yeah, for this game. I'm assuming he wanted this game, but if not, I still like that for this game, anyways.
Yeah.
Hi, V. V, I had to
buddy?
sleep holding my pillow last night. It was pretty depressing. It didn't have a beard.
No, that's a bummer. We'll get it back soon. Also see V on Friday in Saustein. That'll be fun. All right. Any more thoughts on this game?
Can I make you laugh real quick?
100%.
Somebody I work with, who I'm friends with, saw a picture of all of us from the bar, and she was like, "Is it a requirement to have facial hair to work for that company?" And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. I was like, yeah, that's 9 out of 9 there. I was like, well, sure.
Sounds about right. Yeah, it is actually part of the stipulations to work at Betting News. You have to have some sort of facial hair or be able to tape it on your face. All right, man. Let's move on to these other 2. Do you got anything else for this one you want to mention?
The only other thing that I would definitely bring out to the open here is Tina Charles double minus 130. I mean, she's been playing like an absolute beast lately. I just want to pull up her numbers. I mean, she's hit 10 points in 10 of her last straight games. She's had 17, 20, 12, 23, 19, and 28 in her last 6 games. So if you were going to take her points, definitely go for it. Her last 4 games against Minnesota, she's had double digits in points. And in not the last game, but the game prior this year, she did have 10 rebounds against them. But in her last 5, she has had 10 plus in every game. And in her last 8 she has had 10 plus in every game. So definitely worth looking at. Definitely worth maybe pairing with something else. We'll see. Maybe we find something from another game. Maybe another double that looks like. We make it double A.
Well, how do you feel about this? Why don't we just do an SGP for this game and just not even worry about the other games? Because
one game that we should probably either incorporate or definitely do is the Wings players. Very predictable for some reason.
Okay. Well, that's a good transition. Let's just swing to that game then. Talk about that game. Sure. Wings taking on the Liberty. 10.5-point favorites are the Liberty. We've talked about their double-digit spread covering all season long. The Wings, as I said at the beginning of the show, eliminated from playoff contention. So, nothing to play for really except pride, and they're still professional basketball players. So, they're out there hooping. Over-under's 175.5. Both of these teams, obviously the Liberty can score a shit ton. The Wings do not play defense, but the Wings also are pretty good offensively as well. Also a little more juice towards the over here too. So I'll let you dive in first because I didn't really have any super big thoughts on this one.
That's a
What
super
do you
high
think?
over. Holy shit.
Yeah, that is
That's
a
a really,
high
really
total.
considering they only put up 150 points the last time they played. That's crazy. I have to lean. This is tough. I want to lean Wings plus 10.5 just because of the tough spread. The last time they played, Liberty only won by 8. That was back on the 22nd, and Sabali was playing. I'm reading
Hmm.
some rumors that Satu possibly could be landing in New York in this offseason, which would be
Interesting.
fantastic. Her sister, I believe, or one of her family members is already on the Liberty. She's definitely the X factor for that team. It's a shame that she came in as late as she did, but I definitely kind of lean Dallas with the 10.5 points. Enrique puts up 20, 25 points. Savali puts up maybe 15, 20. McCown grabbing 10 points, 10 boards. That can keep the game close. I do think the Liberty win this game they're a better team in every facet that there is. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a 3-game win streak. Dallas has lost the last 4. This is not a bounce back spot for them. This is not a letdown spot for the Liberty. This is putting the foot on the pedal to get ready for the playoffs. I think for this New York team. So I do kind of lean that plus 10.5. That plus 10.5 is kind of looking at me funny. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
I kind of like the over now that we're talking about it and looking at it. I mean, that's a high total and juice towards the over. And this Wings team, even though they're eliminated, they're fun. Enrique is really good. Obviously, Sabali as well coming into this team makes them competitive. The Liberty don't fuck around. They're going to come out and play basketball, and they like to score too. And I think this is the type of team that, as you mentioned, they want to win the chip this year. And I think they want to go into the playoffs hungry, in good form, pedal to the metal. They're not going to take this night off and mess around. So I like the over. I don't think I'm going to bet it necessarily because I don't really like this game that much. But if I'm looking at it right here, I think that the over seems like a nice spot. What I would consider betting is I really like your mention of Sabali's over 4.5 assists. I mean, she's hit that in 5 of her last 6 games. She hit it again last game against the Liberty, which was on the 22nd of August in New York. She didn't hit it the game before that, which was, she had 4 in that game, the 20th, but she's playing 36 minutes. As you said, she's going to want to come out and ball. I mean, 4.5 assists seems like a nice, easy number for somebody that could flirt with 7 or 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
And if Enrique's hitting, then this could cash in the first half. So I like the 4.5. I think I'm going to bet this, and maybe even ladder it because 6 plus is plus 168. 8 plus is plus 600. She didn't have 8 last time they played, but she kind of gets to that 7, flirting with that 8 line quite consistently. So, but I think the 4.5 is a really good spot.
You need to start giving us defensive props, man. This chick turns the ball over so much. I would bet on that. Not a problem. Like, oh my gosh.
That and stocks. I mean, stocks is like, if we could bet stocks in the WNBA, holy. Which I think they're going to have that next season because of how popular it's become. I think so. Just because, yeah. And I mean, we've seen even just between when we started the show and when the season started up to now, they've added, alt props. They've added some markets that weren't there before. It's grown. And I think that we're going to see more of it because, there's so many girls that are just animals, either, blocks, steals, both. As you mentioned, turnovers. I think all of that's going to come into play very soon. So, you got any other props in this game that you're looking at?
The only other player that I really like, and not even fully like, is Breanna Stewart. She has good numbers against them to get her points over 21.5. And she's hit it 8 out of her last 10. She only hit 1 out of 2 this year. She had 26 and 19 in the other game. That was a few weeks ago. And those 2 games were actually back-to-backs. I need to look up the score of the second game because I'm wondering if they beat the. Oh no, they didn't beat the brakes off them. They won by 8. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's tough playing New York props. Like, I can never put my finger on Sabrina's gonna have 4 threes tonight, or Brianna's getting a double tonight. They just move around a lot. They have such a good team and so many different players that it's kind of hard to take a prop unless it's really screaming at you.
Well, we talked about this in Spaces earlier today, and it got brought up that Sabrina's RA was a nice spot that people liked. Her assists. I mean, I was kind of thinking of playing Vandersloot's assists, but her minutes are all over the place. She only plays 15 sometimes. She'll play 25 another time. Her 4.5 is minus 130. She's hit that with absolute ease against this team. Caveat, though, and shout out to our buddy Austin, who said this in Spaces earlier today, and I did a bit more digging about this after the show, or after Spaces. 11-6 in the 2 games against her this season, but Sabrina didn't play in those games. So you have that caveat. However, 4.5 is a very low number for for what Vandersloot can accomplish in this offense. And if the Wings cover, she's gonna maybe play a few more minutes. So I don't hate the 4.5. It's too juice for me now. It's minus 130. I didn't want to take it at that point. I do like it though. I mean, maybe it's one of those spots you just take it to 8, because 8 plus is plus 620, dude. If this game turns into just think about it. If the over hits in this game, if we see 180 points in this game, there's going to be a lot of props. They're going to be smacking because there's going to be a lot of people scoring. So,
yeah, you got to remember she's so hit or miss, and she is technically a starter. So if it comes to benching people, she will take a seat. That's for sure.
100%. But yeah,
if anybody's feeling spicy, if you're feeling real spicy, take Agubawale's points under. She's at 21.5. She's literally come up short against them both games this year, just by a hair. She just hit her points 4 out of 5. She's kind of due for I don't want to say a stinker, because every game she's put up is over 20, but it just hasn't hit the line. I could see her ending this game with like 20 points. The under's minus 113. I don't got the cojones to play it, but I'm just looking at this and it's talking to me.
You might have to ride that one on your lonesome, my friend.
I know. I hate riding unders as well.
Well, I've come around a little bit more, but the over in this game is sussing me out. And I mean, the Wings, like, who's going to score for this team besides Enrique and Sabali? I mean, I know that
Tasha
actually
Salud.
Thank you. I know that Tasha Howard can also score too, but like if this game's going over, which it's kind of how I lean, then I think Enrique has an opportunity to have a big one. This is also, this is is this their last game against the Liberty? I would assume so.
Yeah, I believe so. I'll just double check.
It's their last chance to play this team. She might want to ball out at home.
I lied to you.
They play again?
They play again on Thursday. They both play.
Okay, so
they play each other again on Thursday.
It's back-to-back situations. Is it in Dallas or do they go back to New York?
They're both in New York, actually.
Well, tonight's in Dallas.
What am I looking at then?
I don't know, but tonight's in Dallas.
They're both in Dallas then. My bad. I'm reading it back.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good.
They're both in
You're
Dallas,
good.
so they'll be in Dallas again on Thursday as well.
Interesting. All right. Anything else you want to mention on this one? I know this is, again, this might be one worth, like, if you like a prop, ladder it. Because again, like, look at this total. Like,
It's true.
you know what I mean?
I know Brianna and Enrique are the two that I look at the most. It's funny because I had to pull up, see what the odds were for the top point scorer in this game. Enrique and Stewart are both plus 220 each. But, there's a sneaky little Natasha Howard in there for a plus 750, which kind of I'm looking at for some reason. I don't know why. She used to play for the Liberty. She's going to be banging against Jonquel Jones. She's going to have McCown down there to help kind of spread the floor a little bit. So I have to think about that one.
Ride your narrative against the Liberty in her last both games this season. In her last 3, she did not hit her points in any of those games, her regular line. So
interesting. Okay.
It's not to say she can't do it tonight. Same argument with Enrique, but just,
of course.
But
it's a tricky.
I mean, it is. It's a tricky one. I would have thought, which kind of makes me kind of lean with you on the cover of the Wings. I would have thought this spread would have been 12.5, 13.5.
There's nobody that hurt that I know of, that I can think of. on the Liberty for that matter. So
I don't know. Oh, well, we might circle back to this game when we do the lotto. Maybe find something funky and see what we like to look into. But let's talk about this last game.
Sure. Rowdy, if you go to bettingnews.com every day, there's a free play from Chef. So go to bettingnews.com every day. It's right there. You can't miss it. You see his nice little chef emoji and
banner.
Bitmoji rather, whatever, avatar. And it's right there for you, man. You can give it a read too. You don't have to just play it. You can see what he's talking about.
It's actually not updated today yet, but it will be when we get out of the show. I heard he texted me and said he's got a SGP in the WNBA tonight, so we shall see.
Love it.
Interesting. Yeah, man. Yeah, Landon, you know the deal. Okay. Last game. Son. I hate betting on this team.
Me too.
It was Sparks. 11.5. Over-under is 159.5. To be honest with you, dude, I didn't even look at this game. I don't like this game. I think the Sparks maybe win outright or something stupid, or the Sun just absolutely obliterate them. Rickea Jackson's been playing well. I know the Sun are one of the best defensive teams in the league, but didn't they just play close like Sunday? We were talking about this when we were in Chicago. Was it the Sparks they were playing, or was it somebody else?
I'll tell you right now. Yeah, they played each other on the 8th. So, yeah, that's when we were together. So that was Saturday. No, that was Sunday. And they won by 12, Connecticut. That's why the Sparks were
The Sparks were winning that game at one point, but in the second quarter, in the third quarter, I think, too. And then the Sun obviously ran away with it late. But
Los Angeles has nothing to play for at this point. I think they're the guaranteed last spot, which means they're going to get the number 1 seed. But Connecticut's funky, man. Alyssa Thomas has been so tough to bet on. She's just all over the place. And then the rest of the team, excuse me, has been kind of inconsistent too. Bonner has been scoring, but she hasn't had consistent big games like she did in the beginning of the season. And I thought Marina Mabry was going to have a little bit more of an impact than she's been having. She had a, fairly decent start when she got there, but that lasted about 2 games, and then she started to kind of fall off a little bit. So, not really sure how to feel about her.
So, the girl on the graphic is the one that I would be looking at maybe targeting, Rickea Jackson, just because of how good she's been. Rookie, trying to prove herself, getting a chance to play against a good team.
I know
her points
is.
I'm not taking Alyssa Thomas. Absolutely
not. No. I thought you were going to say somebody else on that team that's worth playing, so I'll hold it.
Rickea Jackson, I like her points. It's 14.5. She just had 23 against them a couple days ago. I could see her scoring 15 plus again. It's minus 104, so that's sus. And again, these teams just played, so it's kind of like you can't. Is it a carbon copy of what we just saw, or is it we're getting they reverse back to what previously happened and we're moving back the other direction? I don't know. So
pull up the standings real fast again. Just because I'm not.
I need to grab some water. So just keep talking about the standings. I can hear you, but let me just go get some water.
All right. Well, I have. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so Connecticut's only 3 games above the Aces right now. So they want to play on and hold on to whatever they can. But I'll give you guys my prop that I like, and that's Dejani Carrington for over 13.5 points, rather. It's minus 110. In the 2 games this year against these guys, she had 19 points in both games. One of them, as we mentioned, was just the other day. She's hit her point line in the last 3 out of 5 games. Really like for her to get out there and score. She's been one of the more consistent players on this Sun team, who's been just very tough to bet on. It's hard to see what player is going to land where, yada, yada, yada. So, and Alyssa Thomas has just not been consistent whatsoever. You got, just to not preview, but just to jump like ahead of hair, tomorrow the Aces play and tomorrow the Storm play. So as you see, those are 2 teams riding right on them. If Connecticut loses tonight, that puts the Aces only about 2 games out. There is, 35, about 5 games left in the season. It's very doable for them to flip. If they do flip, you're looking at, if it ended today, you'd be playing Caitlin Clark in the Fever. So I don't know how much you would want that spot. But Seattle's right there too. Seattle gets hot and wins the next 3-4 games. They could easily kind of sweep their way up there as well. Third spot as of right now isn't looking that attractive though, because you will have to deal with Caitlin Clark and the Fever. So that would be interesting.
Unless the Fever come in and overtake the Storm for that 5 spot.
You ain't kidding. That's very close. You ain't kidding.
Could you imagine the Aces and the Fever going head to head in round 1?
Oh man, that'd be dope. But I would hate to see one of them get knocked out so early.
Facts. Facts. Absolutely. That would be a great championship matchup versus first round.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know the gap is much bigger, but Phoenix better watch out, man. They can't afford to lose, 3-4 more games. They need to pull out some W's in their last 5 games, or even 4 games they have left. Otherwise, they could be sitting in that 8th spot if they're not careful.
And you really don't want to play the Liberty round 1.
No. I mean, the other teams will just be happy to be there, so they'll gladly play the Liberty. But Mercury have been in it all year. They've slipped from about the 4th or 5th seed at one point all the way down to the 7th seed since they came back from break. So something to think about. Absolutely.
Repeat your play, because I didn't hear the rest of the entire thing.
Yeah.
What was the play that you mentioned in this last game?
Dejana Carrington for over 13.5 points, minus 110. Okay. She's had 19 points in the 2 games that they played this year. One was the game on Sunday, and then the other one was the game on August 20th. She's hit her point line right now in her last 4 to 6 games. Her last game was against the Sparks, so just coming off a nice game. She's been at least a little bit more consistent this year on that team. Like we've talked about, Alyssa Thomas has not been consistent at all. Bonner's been up and down. I do like this. Play just for her points. Nothing crazy, nothing special. I think she gets them without a problem. Now, never mind. Scratch what I was gonna say. Man. Woo. Never mind. So that's what I got for you there.
Nice. Austin did mention this in Spaces earlier today on Dejana Carrington, over 13.5 points. She just had 19, obviously, and as you mentioned last game against the Sparks, she had 19 in that game as well. So decent ladder spot, possibly. All right, man.
I mean, I have one more play for you. Well, let me see. If it's this juice, though, we'll just skip it because it's on the Sparks. But the Sparks picked up Odyssey Sims in. I believe she was on Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
She was. I was surprised that Dallas got rid of her too. She was playing great.
Same. There's no actual line for her. That sucks. But her assists at 6+ plus 115. I mean, other than her last game, which was against Connecticut, which they really kind of shut her down. She had hit it in 5 straight games prior to that. The line is technically, from what I'm seeing, 3.5, but that doesn't make sense when I'm looking at the book right now because her 4+ assists is minus 365. So obviously we're not playing that.
Her 6+ is plus 116.
It's playable. I mean, 6 seems a little high, but I think it's playable. She had 2 5 pieces in there. But if you look at these are all these games just since they've been back. I'm looking at the dates on them. Something to think about, especially for plus 116. Something maybe to maybe hit a half unit sprinkle on if you want to do it straight, or a nice parlay piece to kind of bring the odds up a little bit if you want.
Well, that too, but also the fact that if you think the Sparks are going to stay around in this one, kind of like what they did in on Sunday, I mean, they're going to have to do something. And she, as you mentioned, after she left the Wings, which I was surprised the Wings got rid of her, she's been great. She's probably playing for, to find us home next year. And I said this in Spaces earlier today. You and I talked about this in Chicago, and I want to talk about it here before we kind of cook the parlay we want to ride for tonight. But this Sparks team could be fun next year, man. I mean, we saw what the Fever did, the quick turnaround they had by getting Caitlin Clark and bringing in a couple of pieces to go around her in Boston. But, you got Cameron Brink coming back after the knee injury. You got most likely they're going to draft Paige Beckers if everything goes to plan, whatever. You've got Odyssey Sims possibly hanging around. You got Hamby, Rakea Jackson, who has been really good. Yeah, I mean, nice core on this team. And, we've seen it we saw it with the Fever. They turned around really quickly with a really, a superstar type player. maybe Beckers comes in, does the same type of thing that Caitlin does, and they've already got some nice pieces in place, and could be fun next year.
No, definitely. You said it right there. I mean, by getting Boston and Clark in back-to-back years, Brink and how do you say it? Beukers?
Beckers.
Beckers could equal to the exact same thing. Now, the thing that I like about them, as opposed to, well, I guess it is the same thing. Is you're getting a big and you're getting a point, so you're getting a 1-2 punch. So that's the thing that really puts it all together. And then, like you were just saying, I mean, Los Angeles' team could actually get a little deeper as the year. They're a little deeper than they look, at least as of right now. So if they can bring some of those pieces back, they should get the number 1 pick, unless somehow Dallas loses every last game, and they win all the rest of their games. But they should end up with the number 1 pick. So Paige will be a huge asset to that team. She's no Caitlin Clark, but she's definitely going to add something. And fingers crossed, knock on wood, Brink comes back healthy.
There's a lot of people that think that she's better than Caitlin Clark, depending on who you talk to. But at this point in time, I can't imagine that being the case. So, all right, man. Well, let's cook a parlay. As you guys can see, how do you want to do this? I mean, do we want to do an SGP for the first game, or do we want to kind of just find some pieces and some bits and pieces that we like from each individual game, and just make something?
We can do either.
We can do
either. What's up, Ron? I'm thinking we could do an SGP. Let's do an SGP for the first 2 games. What do you think about that?
Sure. That sounds good.
I think we'll
the Sparks game?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm cool with that. Okay, so let's go to this let's go to the Dream game. I think we stay. I know you don't. We both lean Dream plus 5.5, but maybe we don't put that in the parlay unless you want to put it in here. I'm not opposed, but I don't know.
Let's do props.
Yeah. All right. I like both of our rebound plays. So Smith Smith and Carlton, 4 and 6. I liked the Sabali's in the other game. I like Tina Charles double. Can't do that on BetOnline, but we can take her 10 rebounds.
Yeah, take her 10 points, 10 rebounds. Definitely, I love that. Honestly, maybe one more play, and I think we leave it at that. Like maybe Ryan Howard for 3 threes. It's minus 174, plus 898, roughly.
I'm getting plus 775, but that's with only with. Let me do the points for. Do you have double for Charles, or excuse me for Tina?
Yeah, I have it as a double. Let me break it out and see if it.
What's her points line? 16.5. Do you like her points? 17 plus.
Yeah, I like the double just because I definitely think she's going to get 10 boards and she's going to get those 10 points. Is there anything less you can take than 17 or no?
Yeah, I can take. Let me see here. 15.
Yeah, I would go 15.
So those 5 legs.
And then 10 boards.
Yeah, and 10 rebounds. Yep. So Alana Smith, 6 rebounds. Carlton, 4 rebounds. Charles, 10 points. Ryan Howard, 3 threes. And Charles, 15 points. That is plus 1050.
I like it.
Yeah, that'll do.
It's doable.
Crazy.
It's doable.
All right, we're going to lock that in. You guys see kind of how it works also using BetOnline, as you can see on the screen right here. All right, lock that in. Do a little half unit on that.
Yep.
Bing bong. Not overthought, too. Kind of talk through everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's locked it in.
I like the players from both of these teams, too. And
same.
It's nice that when you're able to find, I feel like when you're able to find not just players you like, but players that you like because of their consistency, I feel like that's the key. And I feel like we may actually have the same results. Ouch. Pain in my head. I think we might feel fine. I feel in my head. And I'm saying feel. We might find the same results for the next game.
Absolutely. All right. Plus 1050 for that one. Let's go to the next game. Liberty and Wings. I really liked what you had to say about the Sabali assists. Over.
It was 6. Right?
Seeing 5 plus for minus 119.
All right, sure.
Get the vibes moving.
I'm in. Yep.
Okay. So 5+ for Sably over 119. Um,
Kind of like her threes. We don't have to take 3, right? We take 2 because we are
yeah, we can
building a
take 2.
parlay anyways. She's hit
Mm-hmm.
that in her last, what is that, 7 games straight. She did have 5 against New York in her first game she played.
Yeah, we will, Rowdy.
Yeah. She had 0 in the next game against them when they played the first back-to-back. And her attempts came down, but it was still at least 2 attempts. She didn't make them. She kind of had an off game altogether. She only scored 10 points. She had 7 and 5 for rebounds and assists. So she was kind of playing like how she used to play last year in that game where she was doing a little bit of everything. Her threes, though, I mean, what are 2? It's probably juiced, right?
I'm seeing minus 250 on BetOnline for the 2+.
I mean, I like it if you're down.
Sure. We can double dip on her with the assist, too. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like taking her points.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I think we go McCown rebounds.
Dude, every time I bet on her, she forgets how to play basketball.
What's that? Oh, every time we bet on her, she does.
Every time I bet on her, she forgets how to play basketball. I'm not opposed, though.
No, you're right though. She had double digit. She had 8+ rebounds in her previous 7 games, and now that I think about it, Chef and I bet on her Sunday week for 8 rebounds, and she ended up with 7. Maybe she got it out of her system.
Could be. How do you feel? How do you feel about the Wings plus 10.5?
I don't hate it.
Or we could do the over.
We could do that too. I'm trying to think if I like one over the other. 176 is the total.
God, dude, the team totals for the Liberty is 93.5. The team total for the Wings is 82.5.
I don't understand why.
It's got to be set there for a reason.
They put 150 points up combined last game.
Bounce back. I don't know. It's just a weird line.
I know it is weird. I'm down to put it in. I mean, honestly, this whole parlay is probably at the 10.5. This whole parlay is probably going to consist mainly of Wings players, anyways, because of the Liberty players are so unpredictable. One play though from a Liberty player that has been going pretty well.
Wait, before you say that, do you want to do the over and the Wings to cover, or do you want to do one or the other?
I was putting the Wings in plus 10.5.
Okay, we'll do that then.
So you had brought up before, and I think you had said that it came from Austin, that the 2 games that Vandersloot played against them this year, Sabrina was out.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Her 4+ assists. Her 4+ assists has been like 8 out of 10. She's hit it in her last 5 straight. It's still minus like 250 or something like that. If we want to put it in there,
I like that.
She's been playing. I just like historically against Dallas, she's played well as well. She's hitting that number 5 out of 6. I can get behind that if you can.
I like it. I like your regular line, 4.5. I mean, I'd be down to do the 4.5 if you want. Take the 5.
Yeah, I could do that. 4 to 5. Yeah,
let's do that because we're getting 125 cents juice just to take one more assist. I mean, if that ends up hooking us, you can bitch at me later. But 5+ Vandersloot.
Why can't I find Sabrina? Oh, it's a dog because it's right in front of your face. Oh, Vandersloot, man. Can we let's go to the Twitter machine real fast. I just want to see if they've released lineups or not. Like, is she gonna play or not?
I think she's gonna play.
I know. I just wonder what. her usage is really going to be. Let's see if anybody has released any sort of a lineup or anything.
I mean, yeah, her usage is a roller coaster of 15 minutes, 26 minutes, 15 minutes, 28 minutes. Like it's hard to lock one in. I'd be down to go back to 4, just so we don't have to worry about it. I'm going to probably take the 4.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Timeout. Coach T. We need a T. Benicia Laney Hamilton is back tonight with no minutes restriction. That's huge.
Yeah.
Now I was going to say, I don't recall seeing her on the book anywhere.
Let's just stay away from this game then.
Yeah, the other one was so natural.
Let's just not force it. We've got an SGP. Right. We both really like that. What I would be down to do is lock in a lotto, though.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's see here. I will post, as Rowdy asked, I will post the lot or the parlay, the SGP that Inzi and I just cooked for the W leg. I will post that on X on the Betting News account if you guys would like to ride it out with us, plus 1050. So go check it out. It'll be up live in like the next 15 or 20 minutes. I will read it off.
is going to play just to affirm that for you.
Okay. Where did that go?
All right, lotto time.
Yeah. All right. Let's lock in this. Bad boy. Do you want to ride Alana? Do you want to double dip on Alana and take her 8 rebounds? We got her in the SGP.
I don't. I just don't want to double dip.
That's fine.
I would rather take like from this game, like 12 rebounds for Charles or something like that.
Or we could ladder her points.
Right, she's been scoring a hell of a lot too. We could do that too.
Or we could do like 20 points and 12 rebounds type of deal.
I'm down for that. 20 points and 12 boards.
Seen 19 plus for plus 125, and then if you do the rebounds, if you do 12 plus 340, that'll do.
Yeah. I can get behind that. I mean, one person that we could go with, even though she just burned Chef and I's soul the other day, which means she's probably due for the bounce back, is Jordan Canada, 6 assists. If you pull that up, her line has moved to 6.5, so it looks like just red all day. But she's hit 6, 8 out of 10 games in her last 10. The other pick I could get behind for this game would be my girl, Alicia Gray, 3s. She's been lighting it up. She had 3 and 2 in her last 2 games. She's hit in her last 8 out of 9 games to have 2+. If we want to throw that in there.
So Canada, I'm down with. 7+ though is plus 133. You down for 7+? There's a lot of.
Oh, you're right. I forgot that part. No, let's scratch that. I'd rather take 3 3s from Alicia Gray. I'm getting like plus 200-ish.
Yeah, plus 179, but yeah, we can throw that in.
Or do you like? Okay. Or do you like? Oh no, we had another one. Never mind. I know you like Ryan more.
No, I'm not here nor there on Ryan. I'm down to roll with Gray if you like her better.
Woo-wee. What's the better record against Minnesota, though? Neither one of them have good numbers against Minnesota. Fuck.
What up, Gerald?
What's up, brother?
All right, then let's take.
Yeah, it's fun. I literally, Ryan and Alicia's numbers look great, but they both don't have good numbers at all against Minnesota. But I mean, like right now, you know what? Let's ride the hot hand. I think we should go with Howard for 4+. If not that, go Gray 3+ because it's a little bit better value because they're shooting. The volume's there. They need to win. And they're the 2 best players on this freaking team. So it's like if they don't get it together, they're screwed. Am I reading this correctly? Holy shit. Let's take Ryan for 4. She's had 4, 6, 6, and 5 in her last 4 games, and her attempts are 13, 17, 15, and 9. She shot 17 3-pointers against Dallas 2 games ago. Crazy.
SPL. Yeah. while you were talking and giving the W analysis, Gerald tried to get me to do SPJ when like you do the Z, and I did it, and I got to the J, and it turned into an L. So let's take the 4+. I like the attempt, like you said. I mean, she's going to be hucking them. Dream need to win. We both win that way.
Oh yeah, she's gonna, and they're home. All right, let me see if I can pull up. Let me just see the numbers at home. Her numbers at home are good. And the attempts at home are 10+ in her last 4 games at home. So we like that. We like that a lot.
All right, so you know what we could do? Stick in this game and take the Dream money line.
Oof. I don't hate that.
Tina Charles, 19, 12 rebounds. Ryan Howard, 4 threes. And the Dream money line, plus 2,000.
The dogs. I was about to say, the dogs are barking. Are the dogs barking tonight or what? The
dogs are barking. You guys heard it here. I think it's fate.
Yeah. I think that's good. We don't go to we don't have to go to a plus 10,000 unless you want to go into the other game.
No, let's just stick with this. It's only four legs, dude. And I mean, if the Dream win, Ryan Howard's probably hitting 4 threes, and Tina Charles probably scoring 20 points and 12 rebounds.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? I like it.
They have to. They have to. All right, let's lock it in.
Let's do it. I'm gonna do a little. I'm doing a 669. A little more than the normal 5. Yeah, I'm feeling frisky. The dogs are barking, man. They're barking. They're speaking to me.
You want to know what they're probably barking at? Another dog.
Yeah, they're just saying hi. It's like one of their homies.
That's funny.
All right, so Tina Charles, 19 points. Tina Charles, 12 rebounds. Ryan Howard, 4 threes, and then the Dream money line. A little bit of a souped up SGP for you guys for the first game of the night. Plus 2,000. If you would like to rock and roll with us, there it is. Bang. Look, let's get it. All right, man. Good stuff. Locked in a couple of nice parlays in this first game of the night, so hopefully it is as competitive as we think it's going to be. Because if it isn't, then we're going to look like, dumbasses.
We're not gonna look the smartest, but that's okay. Nobody ever said that we were here for our brains.
No, but you guys, I think a lot of people in the chat liked what we had to say about these games as well. I'll run through the plays that we mentioned from all 3 of these games tonight. Both the our plays that we like the most are in these first games. Alana Smith over 5.5 rebounds from myself. NZ likes Bridget Carlton. Oops, wrong one. 4+ rebounds, minus 128. And Tina Charles for a double-double if you're getting decent value on that. The other 2 games, proceed with caution. There's stuff you can definitely take if you like it, but definitely worth proceeding with caution. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. W analysis on the W. Love to see it. It's better than L analysis on the L. You know what I mean?
Austin, we missed you this weekend, man.
Yeah,
we missed you this week.
We missed a lot of you guys, man. We wish that we will get to the point where we have a headquarters in every big city right here at Betting News. You guys can just come and hang out with us at each individual headquarters. One day, Chad.
It's gonna happen, people. It's gonna happen.
One day, Chad. Yeah. You guys were here first. The W leg. Rowdy is, let me read it off to you real quick. Pull it up here. Let me find it. Where are my bets? It is the SGP that we put together from the first game. So let me find it here. Oops. Here we go. Tina Charles for 10 rebounds. Tina Charles for 15 points. Ryan Howard for 3 3-pointers. We basically just made the same lay, just souped everything up, which is not a bad thing. Ryan Howard for 3 threes. Alana Smith for 6 rebounds. And Bridget Carlton for 4 rebounds. It's plus 1050. 5 picks. Lock it in. We will post it on X. If you're not following us on X, give us a follow. If you're watching us on X right now, thanks for being here. Come and hang out with us next time on Twitch or on YouTube. We go live every day talking sports betting and vibing out with you guys and having some fun. So if you liked what you saw, come and hang out with us next time. Good stuff, dude. Haven't done a show just the 2 of us. It's been a while, but I had some fun.
I know, right? It's been a very long time.
Yeah, man. It's been great. Chat, hope you guys enjoyed the show today. As always, go follow my man NZ. He's been super sharp on the WNBA tomorrow. He'll have some scribbles for you guys later this week as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. Go follow me as well, Sweatpant Jesus. Go follow all of us Betting News, guys. Appreciate all you guys for everything that you bring to the table every day. Couldn't do this without you, and we just appreciate you guys being along for the ride. Brother, you got any final words for the kids before we scooch on up out of here?
I'm gonna take your saying and go. I got a good feeling about the WLA. I got a good feeling about the WLA. Some rebounds, some threes, a double. These are doable.
Very doable. You got a sneaky feeling about this one, my friend? Landon is losing his mind.
Kind of like that one.
And is losing it.
And if Alana Smith gets a double, SPJ and I are gonna freak out. So just beware.
Chat, just ride it out with us for a cup of coffee. Put $1 on it. It's plus 1,900. Might as well. But yeah, I can't wait to text you if she's close. That'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
I look forward to that.
All right. I do too. Guys, we appreciate you stopping by today right here on the Betting News Network. Tomorrow, the lads will be live. Mr. Marcio and Shaggy Betts will be live with you guys for Up Your Units. Be sure to hang out with them for the former Super Stash Bros, but now they're trying to help you up your units at 5 o'clock Eastern. And then Thursday, we have a very, very special guest joining us. We just dropped it on Twitter. So go check it out if you guys have not seen that. He is Dave Mason from BetOnline, who is responsible for controlling. He sees all the different handle and all the money in association to what's happening on the sportsbook side of things. We're going to talk about Thursday Night Football with him. We're going to ask him some questions about the NFL. Any other questions that you guys have in chat too? He's going to be with us for like 10 or 15 minutes of the show. Get some inside information from somebody that works in the industry more than just we do. So it should be fun to have him on the show and ask some questions and kind of get some inside insight. So inside insight. I like that.
Rolled up.
Good stuff, brother. It did. It rolled out. Yeah. Go follow us on all the socials. As always, go follow us right here on Twitter or on, if you're watching us on Twitter, great. Or on X. If you're watching us on Twitch, thanks so much. On YouTube as well. NZ, pleasure, my man. As always. Should be a fun last week and a half of the season, man, before we dive into the playoffs. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it is. It's the playoffs last year were awesome, too. So hopefully we get another I think we're going to get an even better year. The players are just as good, if not better. The teams have gotten better. We got new teams in the mix. Bring it on, baby.
Bring it on, indeed. We'll be back with you guys next Tuesday. We might have a special guest, as I said, and then we'll be diving into the playoffs. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibe. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night. Enjoy. Bet responsibly, as always. And we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do now?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about